school category. The recognition, which was conferred at the National Teachers Summit 2026 held in Abuja, awarded Mrs. David the sum of 25 million naira as a testament of her dedication, excellence, and passion for the teaching profession. This closed the summit had the theme Empowering Teachers, Strengthening the System, a national agenda for education transformation and sustainability. The first historic conference in honor of Professor Monday Mangvat, themed Documenting the History of the Jos Plateau State and Adjoining Lowlands, is being held at the Senate Chambers of the Plateau State University, Bokos. The conference is a collaboration between the Department of History and International Studies of the Plateau State University and the Directorate of Research, Planning and Documentation, Government House. Our correspondent reports that the conference brought together academics in the field of history and related fields from across the globe.
In a keynote address on the topic, When Peace is Not Just Absence of War, Building Everyday Coexistence on the Plateau, Professor Toyin Falola of the Department of History, University of Texas, Austin, USA, emphatically aligned with the establishment of such a center that would tell and keep the history of the Jos people and its adjoining lowland alive. He recommended that for such a center, there is a need for an executive bill to be legislated upon by the State House of Assembly to ensure it is properly documented.
The archives of the people, in which, just as some of you are looking at conflicts, some of us are looking at peaceful interactions, by which many of our people are interacting on a vibrant daily basis, united by peace.
On his part, Director General, Research, Planning and Documentation, Government House, Sam Godons, added that the Historical Center will, among other things, function as a modern archival repository, safeguarding documents and records of enduring value.
Government is interested, government is committed that we must get this one right. We want an institutional reality about our own history. That's why the governor has agreed that whenever convocation will take place, we will unveil the concept of that center.
In his overview, Conference Chair Professor Enoch Oyedele commended thus:
Engage in meaningful dialogue and explore new perspectives on the documentation and interpretation of the histories of the Jos Plateau and surrounding lowlands.
In his welcome remarks, Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Shedrack Best, informed participants of Plateau State University's giant strides in the area of academic excellence.
Rejecting this by this kind of gathering is a statement that we do not accept this narrative because we must know our history. And the presence of the Historical Society at this conference is an endorsement of what we are doing. Even though this is about Plateau State, but I can tell you that the lessons go far beyond Plateau State. And it's a modest beginning, and it's like I said elsewhere, it's like a seed that we are sowing, and this seed will propagate.
Highlights of the event was presentation of books by the keynote speaker, Professor Toyin Falola, and goodwill messages from Mike Omeri, Labaran Maku, Professor Chefu, among others, and an appreciation remark from the honoree whose conference is being celebrated, Professor Monday Mangvat. This is Roland Longs.
Still ahead on Global News, Jos Museum Multipurpose Cooperative honors 7 past presidents. Stay with us. Welcome back. Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Nanlon Daniel, has described the political realignment of Governor Caleb Mutfwang into the All Progressives Congress as a strategic decision that will re-engineer infrastructural development and accelerate socio-economic growth across the state. Daniel made this known in a statement by his press secretary, Philip Eblom, shortly after the grand reception of Governor Mutfwang held in Jos, describing the development as a significant moment in the political history of Plateau State. He noted that the governor's alignment with the party at the center positions the state to benefit more from increased federal presence, critical infrastructure, and inclusive development initiatives, stressing that governance thrives best when there is strong synergy between the state and the federal government. According to the Speaker, the move reflects Governor Mutfwang's commitment to pragmatic leadership and the collective interests of the Plateau people, stressing that the decision transcends partisan considerations and is firmly anchored on delivering tangible dividends of democracy. He commended the national leaders of the APC for the warm reception accorded the governor, describing it as a demonstration of openness, inclusiveness, and collective responsibility necessary for democratic consolidation and national cohesion. The Speaker called on citizens to embrace the new political direction with unity of purpose, assuring that the Plateau State House of Assembly remains committed to supporting policies and programs that promote peace, development, and good governance. Nanlon Daniel emphasized that the Assembly will continue to work closely with the executive arm to ensure that the renewed political alignment transforms into improved infrastructure, enhanced security, economic opportunities, and better living conditions for citizens. 7 former presidents of the Jos Museum Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited have bagged awards of meritorious service for contributing to the growth and development of the cooperative. The recognition was given during the 35th annual general meeting of the society. Our correspondent was at the Jos Museum Auditorium, venue of the event.
The Jos Museum Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited is an autonomous association of individuals who voluntarily work towards the economic and social benefits of its members. The awardees include Ezekiel Odubre, Dr. Oludairo Oladapo, Shingigwe Bess, Pastor Raphael Edmond, and John Bess. Also awarded posthumously are Jacob Tonga and Victor Itua. The recipients were full of gratitude to the Cooperative Society for the honor.
Cooperative in Museum, I am grateful to you people. He retired. He was retired after how many years? Now he's, let's say, in debt, with debt all 18 years. And you people still remember him. It's a great joy to us.
You could do certain things and you may not be remembered. For them to remember us and make this presentation, we say thank you.
New executive members of the Jos Museum Multipurpose Cooperative Society were sworn in and given a certificate of return during the event.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Jos Museum Multipurpose Cooperative Society.
President of the Jos Multipurpose Cooperative Society, Fabian Dalugap, said the 35th anniversary was an opportunity for the cooperative to reflect on its past experiences, appreciate its present state, and forecast into the future with strong determination. He highlighted some of the achievements recorded so far to include expansion and fortification of the cooperative office to provide reinforcement and protection against theft, as well as economic growth and educational training for members.
The former leaders have actually did well, and that is why in these 35 years we decided to organize an award to appreciate all the former presidents that have served this cooperative society.
Zonal Director, North Central Zone and Curator, Jos Museum, Linus Kingi, congratulated officials for the giant strides recorded and urged members to adhere to the principles guiding the society. Director, Cooperative Societies, Elizabeth Bott, said Governor Caleb Mutfwang is passionate about the sustainable growth of cooperative societies in the state. Chairman on the occasion, Ezekiel Odubre, and representatives of Plascofed, sister cooperative societies, and banks present took turns to congratulate the Multipurpose Cooperative Society for marking its 35th anniversary and urge members to plan for their retirement. I am Bolchitpam.
Moving on to the foreign scene, President Donald Trump says his administration is going to de-escalate a little bit in Minnesota after the second fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen by federal immigration officers there. Earlier this month, Rennie Good was fatally shot by an immigration officer, followed by Alex Pretty, who was killed on Saturday after being stopped by border agents. Pretty's death reignited local protests and public outcry across the country and led to criticisms from lawmakers in both parties. Trump's remarks are the latest sign his administration is taking a step back on its operations in Minnesota. Speaking to other reporters ahead of a rally in Iowa Tuesday night, Trump said he viewed the killing of Pretty, an intensive care nurse at a veterans hospital, as a very unfortunate incident. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said shortly after the shooting that Pretty wasn't there to peacefully protest. He was there to perpetrate violence and accused him of domestic terrorism. The Department of Homeland Security has also said the agents fired in self-defense after Pretty resisted attempts to disarm him. Noem said Pretty was shot because he was brandishing a gun during a confrontation. Eyewitnesses and local officials, however, have challenged that account, saying he had a phone in his hand and not a weapon. And on sports, Brazil have formally expressed interest in hosting the 2029 FIFA Club World Cup, as the request was presented during meetings in Rio de Janeiro, while FIFA President Gianni Infantino was in the country. Infantino's visit was primarily aimed at launching preparations for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, which Brazil will host across 8 cities. Officials of the Brazilian Football Confederation used the opportunity to advance discussions on bringing FIFA's expanded Club World Cup to the country, positioning Brazil as a strong candidate in South Africa's largest football market. FIFA has yet to clarify the selection process for the 2029 tournament. The World Football Body bypassed a formal bidding process for the 2025 edition, instead awarding hosting rights to the United States for the inaugural 32-team competition. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has sent a message of condolence to Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi over the death of his father, Sunday Ndidi. In a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president expressed deep sorrow over the loss, describing it as tragic and painful for the family and all who knew the deceased. And that report takes us to the recap. In the news, we told you that Plateau State government has donated over 30,000 hectares of land situated in Wasi local government area to Defense Headquarters for agricultural purposes. Governor Mutfwang announced the donation while receiving on a courtesy call the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Defense Holding Company Limited at Government House, Rayfield, Jos. We also told you a distinguished teacher from Government Secondary School Nyango Girl in Jos South local government area of Plateau State, Kacholom Joseph Dung, has emerged as North Central Best Teacher in the Junior Secondary School category. The recognition, which was conferred at the National Teachers Summit 2026 held in Abuja, awarded Mrs. David the sum of 25 million naira as a testament of her dedication, excellence, and passion for the teaching profession. The first historical conference in honor of Professor Monday Mwanvard, themed Documenting the History of the Jos Plateau and Adjoining Lowlands, is being held at the Senate Chambers of the Plateau State University, Bokos. The conference is a collaboration between the Department of History and International Studies of the Plateau State University and the Directorate of Research, Planning and Documentation, Government House. And finally, President Donald Trump says his administration is going to de-escalate a little bit in Minnesota after the second fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen by federal immigration officers there. Earlier this month, Rainy Good was fatally shot by an immigration officer, followed by Alex Pretty, who was killed on Saturday after being stopped by border agents. Thanks for being with us. News update comes up at 10 p.m. Good evening.
Our future.